They're after Lumine, the director of the facility. If that's the case...
So, we're gonna get cutscenes between every victory again.
Goal must be control of the orbital
But this time it's slightly less unbearable. For one thing, if you want, you can speed up the text or skip this, even if it's your first viewing, which is really nice.
And they're a lot shorter this time around, too.
Or at the very least, they feel shorter. Like, because you're not just angry at all of them.
I'm picking up a Maverick reading.
So that one in particular is very short. So we've got our traditional 8 stages, as well as this now.
Welcome to the laboratory. This is where you can save your progress and develop chips.
This is a new character.
Yeah, who right now is just going to come off as our mechanic. But this is actually really interesting. So, first of all, let's go over this. We did some password entry stuff. So we have X's ultimate armor, and we have alternate colorations for everybody else. So that is white armor Axel. You get that through a secret Axel ending, which we'll explain when it's relevant. And then we, of course, have Black Zero. White Axel and Black Zero don't have any canon explanations. Obviously, Black Zero is inferred from the past. White Axel also has some lore behind it, which we'll get to when it's relevant.
My name is Lair. My specialty is analyzing enemy abilities.
I'll just let me go through this real quick.
Hi, I'm Pallet. I'm good at analyzing routes through stages.
I don't suppose I need to say it, but I, Alia, will also assist in navigation.
So this is our new navigator system.
Be sure to choose a navigator to assist you. Of course, if you're feeling confident, you can always choose to go it solo.
And that's probably everybody's favorite part about it.
Yeah.
So, playing off of the team mechanic, or the feeling of like you're a unit, you have multiple characters, lots of decisions. You now have the 3 navigators. Alia is your balance option, kind of like X. Palette, like she said, analyzes routes. So if there's ever like, oh, how do I get to this power-up? If you select her, she might give you a hint towards that, whereas one of the other navigators won't. And Lair is all about boss combat. She's kind of the zero parallel. So she'll give you a little bit more insight onto weaknesses and stuff like that. Or you can just turn navigation off. It does a very good job of memorizing who you've already highlighted. It's not a lock-in like it was in X7. It just kind of starts you where you left off.
Right.
So if you chose X0 Alia, it will automatically be in that order again, but you're free to change it up anytime you want.
Meanwhile, this stage...
Yeah, so you don't... I feel so bad. Like, I'm getting this out of the way because it's the worst level in the game. And I feel bad that it's like, yeah, X8 is so great, I can't wait to play X8, and immediately I'm just going to have negative things to say about X8. This is Gigabolt Man of War stage, who, by the way, the boss titles are back. Let me just... There you are. High Voltage Castaway Gigabolt Man of War. If you haven't noticed so far, he's very random. He's quoting food and stuff. It's basically just supposed to be like, whoa, he's Maverick, what's going on? This is one of the only stages I can think of in the entire franchise, not the X series, just all of them in general, that is completely 100% worthless. Obviously you get a boss weapon from him, you know, there is some plot going on. The lore behind this is that he's absorbing all of this city's energy, and doing so will cause him to go critical and explode and destroy the entire city, which obviously is a bad thing. Just passing through this one time, it's a 100% completion for this stage. There's no sub-objectives, there's no hidden heart tanks or armor or anything like that. It is literally just, you beat the boss, that's it, it's done forever. And there really isn't anything else like that in the series that's also on rails like that. So it really is just like, this is either going to be the quickest part of the game or the biggest pain in the ass.
I know Maverick. Who are you anyway?
That's really important. That's going to be the recurring sort of conversation point against all the bosses, and that's going to be the case with most of the characters too, since everyone gets their own boss dialogue. The thing that makes this storyline interesting is that unlike all of the others, again with kind of the exception of 5, the hunters already have a grasp of what's going on. Sigma is back in some regard, and there are Mavericks doing things. So rather than going in saying, like, what's your plan? More or less, they're going in saying, all right, you're a Maverick, we have to deal with you, and all of the bosses are going to reiterate, no, I'm not a Maverick. Why are you assuming that? You just don't understand what's going on. And so, just kind of carrying through with that is really cool. Also, we now have, this is called Angry 8 Boss, is the music. This is basically their desperation move. Every character has one now, which is really interesting. And that will also mark the point where they are able to be sure-killed by the double attack. So you basically have a new sort of fight formula in this one where you'll whittle them down health-wise, then they'll do their really big attack, and if you've been smart about your resources, you can counterattack with your double attack and finish that off. And make no mistake, the desperation attacks in this one are very damaging. Like, I think if either of them got hit by Thunder Dancer there, they would have been knocked out in one hit. Then one cool thing that happens here, which you can now see as opposed to that intro stage, is if you finish off a boss with the double attack, both characters are present to do their victory pose. Your secondary one will teleport away first. Your primary one, the one that got the killing blow, will do their victory line and then teleport away, which once again builds into the cohesive, you're a team, you're all working here together, which is really cool. Also, we now have a really good fucking weapon get screen again for the first time in like multiple games, which is really nice. And I love that they include weapon get very intentionally as kind of like an old school nod, which again is just the right amount of nostalgia to sell it.
I really fucking love X's voice actor in this one. It's a lot better than fucking 4. Like, 7 was kinda alright, but not...
It was alright in that it didn't sound overly feminine.
Yeah, but...
So, not to cut you off, we're going back to the intro stage, which is a thing that we can do now. And there are actually items to find here, which is really, really interesting.
I think it's to make up for the Gigabolt stage.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but I like that this is a thing you can do now. And there was obviously ranking, so if you want to, you can replay stages and enhance your rank and collect items that you've missed and stuff like that, which adds simple but fun replay value to it that the other games don't really have outside of like, whoa, you missed some rescue reploids. Oh, there's no more rescue reploids. Just completely gone, which is super important.
Another thing is the boss fights are really fast in this one. Like, you chew through their health bar.
Yeah, as opposed to how it was in 7. But a lot of that is also
You found a rare metal.
rewarding. Like, I've played through this game a bunch of times now, and some of these boss fights actually can be pretty tough. But once you get them down, they are like, alright, you can kind of plow through these now, which again feels more like the older games, while still having the new mechanics in, like rewarding the double attack, or having to deal with their desperation moves, and things like that. Which is, again, really, really nice overall.
And there's just a lot of momentum in this game.
Yeah, and even when you go... So these are called trap rooms. Every stage has them, with the exception of the Ride Chaser levels, which, yes, there is a second one. It's not as bad. It's still kind of lame, but not nearly as bad as Gigabolt, and there are actually things to get in that stage. Even the trap rooms, when you're doing them correctly, you feel good, because you're kind of, upping your combo score, and you're like working towards a nice high rank, and it's just like you feel like you're actually participating. It's never really a slog, even when the game is locking you into a room. And those are fun because there are multiple variations of them. Like, certain ones will be actual traps, other ones will be swarms, certain enemy encounters will happen in those rooms, so it's always kind of like, what's going to happen in here? And granted, after a while you will see all of them, and it might get a little stale, but not in the same regard as like, I have to walk 5 miles an hour down Palace Road. Woo! So, I'll let him go through this, because Light also has a marvelous voice actor now. And he's going to explain this.
By adding parts to it. I have new parts for you. They're Buster Parts I. Equip this part, and you'll gain the ability to perform new kinds of charge attacks. Equip this new ability and board the capsule X.
Also, I like pointing out that that's totally reversed. It should be board this capsule and equip this new ability, but... Oh, and there's one other thing after you actually get it. First of all, I love that this capsule is, like, gentle, and the music is good.
The last time we need to use weapons of war like this, X. I really do.
And that message comes up after every capsule. And there are 8 capsules in this one. So what we now have, finally, is a mix-and-match armor system, which all builds on the neutral armor, which in the next episode I'll kind of go over a little bit more, because we'll see it when we're selecting X.
Good job out there. You should head to the lab for maintenance.
Take this!
Now's the time for you to follow through with your specialty weapon.
You're right. With the power I received from my peaceful state of mind, I challenge you.
This hand of mine is burning red.
Its loud roar tells me to grasp victory. Erupting!